3 on Monday, February 10th. We're at 33 degrees, partly cloudy, highs in the mid-40s today. Good morning, I'm Michelle Basch.
And I'm John Aaron. The top local story we're following this hour. If you'll be heading anywhere near the Navy Yard, we have a heads up for you. It'll be a lot more crowded there than usual from now on. WTOP's Neil Augenstein reports.
We're here on M Street outside the gates of the Navy Yard. The Navy has told the district almost 17,000 employees are expected to report in person today, and between 8,000 and 10,000 of them will be driving. The Navy has increased the number of screening lanes here at the gates, but there's still just 4,500 parking spaces available. When capacity is reached, the Navy says it'll direct cars to outside lots. Both the Navy and D.C. government are recommending commuters use Metro Rail, bus, commuter rail, carpool, bike, or walk, because if everyone drives, there's just not enough room. At the Navy Yard, Neil Augenstein, WTOP News.
Snow returns to our forecast starting tomorrow, and it could really pile up. Here's 7 News First Alert meteorologist Brian Vandegraff.
Winter storm watches up for the metro area for your Tuesday and Wednesday. That's when our next weather maker moves in, but not Tuesday morning. It'll be a dry morning rush on Tuesday, but by midday, snow will overspread the area, becoming heavier at times. Mid-30s will eventually drop into the lower 30s. Maybe even some upper 20s, and that snow will stick overnight into Wednesday morning. That's when it will start to accumulate. A good 4 to 6 inches possible by Wednesday morning. Wednesday midday kind of dry, but Wednesday night a little bit of a mix before some cold rain, milder to wrap up the end of the work week.
Your full forecast is on the way at 8:08.
A bill that would pave the way for a casino in the Tysons area has passed in the state Senate. WTOP's Grace Newton spoke with some Fairfax County lawmakers and residents to see where they stand as the bill heads to the House.
It is a special purpose bill that will irrevocably harm the community.
Lynn Molston, chair of the No Fairfax Casino Coalition, is encouraging residents to reach out to their delegates and tell them to vote no on the bill.
There will be millions upon millions of dollars that are just poured into an advertising campaign with continuous mistruths, no factual data.
Senator Scott Saravel, who's spearheading the bill, says a casino would generate hundreds of millions in tax revenue for the Commonwealth. If approved, the measure would allow the Fairfax County Board of Supervisors to hold a referendum on the project, which would move the decision power to voters. Grace Newton, WTOP News.
Meanwhile, there's a bill in Maryland that aligns with President Trump's goal to use prisons to detain inmates who are not U.S. citizens. WTOP's Valerie Bonk has more.
This is not about fear-mongering.
It's called the Protecting Marylanders from Violent Offenders Act of 2025, and it was recently introduced in the Maryland Senate. The bill's author, Maryland State Senator William Folden.
People who have no documentation, no accountability. It's time to keep our community safe.
The bill will require that all prisons, jails, and other correctional facilities turn over inmates to Immigration and Customs Enforcement if they are not U.S. citizens and commit a crime that falls under terrorism, poses a danger to national security, is at least 16 years old, and has participated in criminal gang activity or has been convicted of an aggravated felony. Those opposing the bill question the type of crime that will require ICE to be called in, as well as the risk of violating constitutional rights. Valerie Bonk, WTOP News.
Coming up in Money News.
The lucky 3% mortgage holders are starting to shrink in numbers. I'm Jeff Claiborne.
And of course, we'll have that snowy forecast for you, traffic and weather in 30 seconds.